Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din,
I guess it's what you're used to.
Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Good morning and welcome to you wherever you are in the world today. It's a must-win game. It's Australia versus Sri Lanka. Game 19 of the World Cup. We've covered a fair few of them. I should tell you that Australia have won the toss. The national anthem is being played. We're on air a little bit late. Sorry about that. And Australia obviously have decided to bowl first, which I'm going to go under for the full first wicket. Everyone might be surprised there. I'm joined today by Andy in the studio.
Morning.
Messi on Zoom. And
G'day.
what do we think is going to happen?
Well,
Go.
it's T20. Anything could happen. We've seen two bizarre games in different ways, and that possibly one of the best games I've ever seen between India and Pakistan, and then a bit of a farce between South Africa and Zimbabwe yesterday. But at least we shouldn't have the weather to deal with today. It is a must-win game for Australia. I think they're really screwed if they lose this one. But without raking up the same argument we had the other day, Jez, I don't think it really changes.
I wasn't involved.
I don't think it really changes the way they play. You got to win. You got to win.
I think it's wise that they do this. They must hope. I mean, Sri Lanka have been actually quite poor most of this tournament.
Well,
haven't
you say that. No, they were terrible against Namibia, but I think they've been okay after that. They've certainly they've won their games. They haven't come up against any top tier nations.
This is their first top tier. This is their first game. Isn't it?
They played two more qualifiers against Netherlands and UAE, which they won fairly comfortably, and then they beat Ireland fairly comfortably in their first group game.
Oh God, yeah, they did have that. Yeah. Well, Ireland could be the whipping boys.
They could be.
They could be, but it is true. Sri Lanka have been getting better as they go, I think. And Australia could fall in the heat tonight and it'd be all over. So you just never know. I think that Australia will try to win really handsomely and may do that or may get beaten badly.
Well, they've got to go for that strategy, isn't it? I mean, this is it. If Stark and Cummins and Hazelwood hit their straps, they could get quite a few early wickets, and then they could do exactly that. England struggled the other day. Anyway, let me give you the teams. Sri Lanka batting will be Patnam Nasanka, Kusal Mendis, Dhananjaya De Silva, Charith Asalanka, Bhanuka Rajapaksa, Dasan Shananaka, Hasaranga, Chamika Karunaratne. No, damn, they haven't got Gulathanayaka, who's got a fantastic jingle. Mahesh Tikshana, Lahiru Kamara, and Benura Fernando. Australia unchanged probably since the last game. Warner, Finch, Marsh.
No, Zampa's got COVID.
Oh, has he? Oh, that's bad luck for them. Maxwell, Stoinis, Tim David, Matthew Wade, Ashton Agar is in then for Zampa, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, and Josh Hazelwood, as you would expect. Can you talk when I get? No, I can do it on here actually.
That's okay. I don't think
I don't think there's any cost to Australia in bringing Agar in. He's actually
just what I was going to say. He offers more with the bat than Zampa as well, and he's maybe not quite as much of a wicket-taking threat, but he is a very economical spinner, so I don't think that hurts them too much. And they resisted the temptation to make any other changes. And they had a very bad day against New Zealand, but that can happen.
It can indeed. Sorry, I'm just getting my betting site up.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. It is. Why is it telling me I want today's game? There we are.
Let's just hope for a good game and hope Sri Lanka can post a total that keeps us in with the game. You know, we don't have a dog in the fight. You know, we're no more biased against Australia than any other healthy Englishman.
We're very biased against Australia.
Basically, any non-Australian.
Well, I've got under for 20.5 for the first wicket for all those betting fans out there. One of the dads at the football was a Kiwi, and he was absolutely joyous on Sunday morning about what happened the day before.
I'm sure, yeah.
Well, they did play brilliant cricket. They really did. They should have scored more. I mean, they really should have.
Well, Williamson's going to Williamson, isn't he? You know what he's going to do.
Yeah, true. But he can speed up. I've seen him,
Not in the last couple of years.
But their fielding was spectacular as well.
They fielded very well. Finn Allen is a real talent at the top. Conway batted very well and really batted Australia out of that game. And as soon as Warner was out in the first over, and you start looking around and thinking, well, who's going to score these really?
They do bat quite deep though. Wade coming in at what? 8?
Wade at 7. Yeah.
7.
If they can get a bit of a platform for Maxwell, Stoinis, and Wade, and David as well. But anyway, Sri Lanka are going to bat first. We'll see what they can do.
Oh yes, and I'm going to commentate. I wasn't supposed to be in today. I was complaining that I hadn't been on for 2 days, and then realised I'm on for the next 4, including a double header on Thursday. Hazelwood is going to bowl the first ball, and it's just knocked into the leg side. It should have probably been a run there. Bowled over the hands of mid wicket, and there's no run. So I've got myself into the game. We should have some jingles. This man is bowling.
I'm afraid of Josh Hazelwood. I'm afraid when he bowls. I'm afraid of Josh Hazelwood. I'm afraid.
This man is facing.
A Nissan car should drive very smoothly.
And he gets his second ball off his hip into the leg side, and he will get himself a single to get himself off the mark. At the other end is Kusal Mendis. He's got a jingle here somewhere. It goes like this. Oh yes.
Mendis was a man who thought he was a keeper, so they played him as a number 3. 'Cause that's where the selectors for Sri Lanka think a keeper needs to be. And get back to where you ought to bat.
Well, he's going to face up to Hazelwood. He gets an outside edge, goes down to third man. 2 slips, did I just say
2 slips in the gully,
slips
yeah.
and a gully.
Yeah, aggressive field.
Very aggressive field. And it'll be 1 run. That was deep in the Beatles period for Jeff Perkins.
The Beatles period is still going on.
Well, it does, but there was a particular period.
1962 to current day.
Well, the reason I say Gunnathalika is a great jingle is its happiness is a warm Gunnathalika, which is genius.
I didn't like that one, yeah.
You can play that anyhow. If you
60 years since the Beatles started. There you go.
Christ, isn't that? Yeah. That's a decent ball from Hazelwood. It's got a little bit of swing, nips off the seam. Too good for Patton, who lets it go through to the keeper.
Yeah, well, as you said, Australia are going hell-bent for wickets, which, I think should be their strategy. They've top-loaded the bowling attack with what they think are their best wicket-taking bowlers. I think they missed some subtlety in the middle overs on account of that. Everything's a trade-off. But you go with your strength, and they're going to try and knock over a couple of early wickets.
Well, they do all right with Zampa, but if he's out with COVID, as you say, there aren't that many. I mean, much like England, there aren't that many great spinners in Australia. Big swing, no ding from Patton, trying to drive it through the offside. His back foot slid away, and he was still inside the ball. Could have easily nicked that through. Didn't, though. And it goes through to Wade, and it's another dot ball.
I'm thinking more about Nathan Ellis. It's the ship has sailed. He's not in the squad, and we were talking, Jez, on Twitter that your 4 best bowlers aren't necessarily the 4 you should pick if they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, entirely. I think Nathan Ellis has been hard done by, and he did really well when he did play.
In that game against England, those games against England, he was by far the best bowler. That's Fuller, driven by Patton, but he can't beat extra cover, and it'll be no run to end the over. Hazelwood number 2 off 1. Over to you, Messi, who's with us this morning.
Sally R56 Imagine says, well, I can't wait for you to start. Just saw that Danny Morrison is on the TV broadcast. So I sent out a tweet saying, no, you don't have to listen to Danny Morrison, listen to us. And Mog just sent, bless you.
Yeah.
And hey, Bear, can I scab a dart? Hello.
Can I scab a dart?
A cigarette.
Ah, right. Well, this is
cigarettes and alcohol in here.
This is cigarettes with added oomph. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yes.
Pass the yard arm.
Well, consider who's admiring you for starting the beers so early, but the beers and the funny cigarettes is even better.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Well, it's 12 o'clock here. That's late enough.
It's not too bad, yeah.
Pat Cummins is going to come for the second over. I'll give his jingle in this over. He's bowling to Kusal Mendes. He just drops it out on the offside, and there is no run. It's Pat Cummins.
Paceman Pat, and his baggy green cap. Early in the morning, just before the warm-up, he has to pull out with a dodgy back.
Patrick Cummins!
Not seeing a lot of swing so far. Certainly not compared to the start of both innings in that India-Pakistan game. I know it's played halfway across the continent, but...
well, yeah. Big area. Big swing. Ooh. Got a bit of a ding on that one. In fact, the top edge goes flying over the slips down to a very fine third man. Tim May can't rake it around. And it's the first 4 of the day.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
That was another thing I was doing at the edge of the football match. Me and this Kiwi were both watching.
This is your kids' football match?
Yeah, football match. And we were both watching the India-Pakistan game on our phones.
Yeah.
And that last over was fucking insane.
Incredible stuff.
The whole thing was insane. I rewatched it yesterday.
Big swing, no ding this time. Tries to clear his front leg, backs away to the leg side, carving it over the offside. But Mendes can't get anything on it. It goes through to Wade, and there's no run. The craziest thing I thought, my immediate thought was, why the fuck are you bowling a spinner in the last over?
Well, they had to. They backed themselves into that corner. They've only really got 5 bowlers, and they took the view, and I think reasonably enough with 5 overs to go, that they were going to try and win the game before the 20th, and hope that they left the spinner with 25.
Yeah.
But then it almost like he wasn't bowling spin. He was trying to bowl medium pace.
Well, yeah, he was just trying to dart it in, wasn't he? That one comes back into Kusal Mendes. Can't get anything on it. Crashes into the pads. Going down leg. No appeal. No run. I didn't think it was a no ball.
No, but
I don't think.
There's no excuse.
I think at the end of the day,
What are you trying to bowl? A knee-high full toss.
Exactly. I mean, that's a fair point. But the fact that it was given as a no ball kind of changed it. And then the run out down the leg side of what would have been a wide. And then Ashwin was so
Ashwin
cool.
left the wide. That was
very cool.
Very composed.
I know.
Yes.
He thought he was going to die.
Well, he set him up for the wide because he moved a little bit.
Oh, that one's gone straight up in the air. It should be out. Don't drop it. Thank you very much. I'll take the cash. Mitchell Marsh has caught one. Kusal Mendes trying to pull it. It's probably a bit too far outside off stump and maybe a bit quick for him. Was late on it and it's gone straight up. Caught by Mitchell Marsh. Very close into the wicket and mid-wicket. Sri Lanka lose their first wicket.
Well, I was going to say one thing about this place, even though it's not the Wacker, there's still a lot of pace and bounce at Perth Oval, Perth Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting this is in Perth, isn't it? Yeah. 3 games on Thursday. That threw me out. I was doing a double header and I looked and there was a game at 4 in the morning. I was like, God, I'm not getting up at 4 2 days in a row. Then realised there were 3 games.
We're doing England versus who is it tomorrow?
Yeah, so I've got to be up at 4 in the morning to come in here for 5 to do England.
Who are they playing against?
Ireland, I think.
Oh,
Ireland, I think, isn't it?
Yep.
It's Ireland tomorrow, and
So that's a
then
biggie.
New Zealand, Afghanistan we're doing as well.
Then Thursday we're doing. It's India versus someone and Pakistan versus
India,
someone.
Netherlands, and Pakistan, Zimbabwe.
Thank you. Yep. Couldn't miss the Zimbabwe game.
No, couldn't.
No,
they're our team.
Okay, a few tweets if we've still got some time. Farong says, greetings from Perth. The Class 3 cyclone from yesterday has moved on to West Bengal and Kolkata. I hope everyone's well. Australia trying to stay alive in this tournament. Lost today and they will be out, it would appear. Is Messi at Optus? No, I'm not. I'll be there on Sunday.
First ball to Dhananjaya de Silva. It's just clipped to mid-wicket and there is no run. He has a jingle that goes, I'm trying to get these in some sort of order because they're not. He's not there, he's there.
Yeah, I think on that wicket, I think you described that perfectly. Bit quick, bit late on it.
Yeah. But that's what you kind of think might happen with, I mean, I said this in our podcast, the problem, I mean, Sri Lanka didn't have a very good warm-up. They fortunately did have a warm-up in the tournament, in the pre-qualifier. But you just think that a lot of I mean, India are different, but and actually Pakistan have probably got an attack that's set up that can deal with these conditions. But generally they're spin heavy. They rely on wickets that are slower, lower, and all that kind of stuff. And they don't have much experience playing in these conditions. If you're coming in cold, it's quite difficult to catch up. As Hazelwood is into Patton, who just drops it down the offside, and there's no run.
But I will say with India, even though they're missing their best seam bowler in Bumrah, Bhuvi Kumar and particularly Arshdeep bowled really, really well in that game. Arshdeep especially.
Well, there was some really fast bowling on both sides.
Yeah.
Haris Rauf and
Shaheen Shah Afridi
bowled beautifully, especially in the early spells. I loved that game. And watching it yesterday, I did miss the crowd when we were covering it. The crowd was amazing.
Oh, I can imagine. Right, so that's bowled angled in towards the legs by Hazelwood on Patton. And he goes down there, but he's managed to quicken. It was very full, and he's still managed to whip it off his pads, even though he's about a foot outside leg stump being followed. And he's got it down to a square leg boundary for 4 runs.
Yeah, I mean, if Hazelwood's in the team for one thing, it's to be metronomic around the top of off, and if he's not doing it, he's going to go for runs, as he has recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's full and hit up in the air. Has he got enough on that? I don't think he has. No, he has, just. David Warner has to chase it back from mid-off. He's inside the circle. It was mis-hit, and it was in the air for quite a while. He just about got enough distance to get it over Warner at mid-off. Gets back for 2.
One thing about this stadium is the straight boundaries are actually pretty short. Square boundaries are huge.
Yeah.
you going under again?
I'm going under again. 29 and a half.
Yeah, that's like the golf shot. You know it's short of the flag, but you're thinking, get over the bunker, get over the bunker.
Yeah. Patton will continue. 7 off 8. That's jacked back a little bit, possibly off the seam. Cramped pattern for Roon, dropped it down on the leg side, literally going nowhere. Bowlers go for a run. Danjani's De Silva nearly crashed into Hazelwood, sorry.
So, question: why do they start with Hazelwood and Cummins when Stark is the most likely to swing the ball?
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't get that either.
because Stark has started every other game, hasn't he, recently? He's usually a
'Cause
go-to
you
man.
don't have that swing for very long, and you
Yeah.
want to make the most of it.
Yeah, maybe they think optimal swinging conditions is over 2 to 5. I don't know. Who knows? That's drivable length just outside off stump. De Silva gets enough bat on it to get it into the covers. Not much on it though, only gets a single. Today's milestones. Agar needs 3 wickets for 50 T20 wickets, and Hasaranga needs 41 for a massive 500 T20I runs.
You always feel he should score more runs than he does, Hasaranga.
Yeah, he did all right against us when they were completely shit. Was it last? It was last summer, wasn't it? 2021 summer, and they came over that series and they were just hopeless. He was the only player who looked anything like he was in full. That's a horrible ball down the leg side by Hazelwood. Wade makes some filthy appeal, completely unconvincingly, and it's given us a wide, which it should be.
Warren says morning all.
Morning, Warren.
Number 1 T20 in the bowler in the world, apparently,
What?
according to those Hazelwood, according to those rankings.
I know.
I'm not buying it.
Well, no, because
Well-
they only include international matches, don't they? And they play so
right,
many
yeah.
more T20s outside of that. That it's a bit of a ridiculous. They should just give it up. That's down leg side. Is that a catch?
No, it's just Wade being a dick.
Oh, it's just Wade being a dick. It's a wide. Well, it did seem to divert off something.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe that was just a camera angle.
I think it cut a fair bit. Leah says hello everyone. Fingers crossed for the Lankan boys today. Securing second place in the group from now would make future washouts quite interesting. Yeah. there's
Well,
good
this is the
chances
lottery of
washouts coming
washouts, isn't it? I mean, if 2 teams play and if 2 teams don't play and 1 team plays, that game that is played is both can be a blessing and an absolute disaster.
Well, I know they're not going to change the rules in the middle of the tournament after this ball.
That's a decent ball on a roundabout or stump length, and Patton can just defend it square on the outside, no run.
But you see from that game yesterday, they decided they were going to play a 9-over game because a 9-over game was the most you could get, assuming no more rain.
Yes.
But what if you think, well, there probably will be more rain? What if we just play a 5-over game, and a 5-over game would have completed yesterday?
Yeah, it's because they got 14 overs in total, didn't they?
Yeah. So what I've suggested on Twitter is, once you lose overs, make it a 15-over game, instead of just saying, oh well, we can do 18, assuming no more rain at all.
But why wouldn't you make it a 10-over game?
Well, make it, and then if you can't do 15, at that point you make it 10.
I mean, I can see that.
It's a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a lottery because if
But
the
you
rain
want-
goes away, you want.
You know, the
longest
umpires
game
were in a
possible.
they got a lot of stick yesterday. They're in a very difficult. Well, I was commentating. They're in a very difficult situation. But some people were quite rightly making the point. Do they make India bowl in this? Bet they don't.
Yeah, well,
No,
yeah.
no,
I didn't
no.
see it. To be fair, that's nicely played into the offside. Good bit of fielding from the man behind point. Comes by Maxwell, of course. Comes past cover.
Well, Zimbabwe could
save.
reasonably say that Ngarava's picked up an injury slipping over trying to bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leah says, I can't tell from this perspective if Andy's wearing an oversized flannel shirt or a dressing gown.
Could be either.
Ah,
At 8 o'clock game, I might be wearing a dressing gown.
yes.
Like Arthur Dent.
Yes. Got your towel?
I know where my towel is.
Cummins is coming into Patham. Second ball. It's just dropped. Good bit of fielding again. Backward point / gully region. Maxwell there, I think.
Of course, one of the hitchhiker books is almost entirely about cricket. It's it's. I won't go into the full story, but it's a game so tasteless that only the English could possibly invent it.
Well,
I'm trying to remember. Give me a hint.
Yeah, because it's all these memories of the most destructive war in the galaxy's history, and the English make a game of it from racial memory.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. God,
Cut.
it's so long since I read
Oh,
that.
same
Oh,
here.
you should read them again.
I read that as a school kid. Attempted cut by Patton. Doesn't get anything on it. Goes through to Wade and there's no run.
Jay says, afternoon all. I know this will devastate everyone on the sofa and all your listeners, but I can only stay till 1:30. And then I've got a pumpkin carving and decorating session. Thus, you must treat all my tweets with the respect their prospective scarcity deserves. I always treat your tweets with respect, Jay. Well,
With the respect they deserve.
Yeah. Cummins clipped off the hit. Behind square, and there'll be a single. Pretty
Mog speculating that the boost in your tobacco is strychnine.
No.
Asbestos.
Oh no. A little break as I think Patton was doing up his shoelaces. What we've got on the outside. Deep third and fine leg. It's a pretty traditional field. Yeah, it's very
Well, Cummins,
oval-like, isn't it?
yeah,
Presumably because they use it for rugby.
Sure.
And Aussie rules. Good cut,
Aussie
yeah.
rules.
Behind square by Dananjaya. He'll get himself his first 4.
never trust a large ball game that's played in a circle or a sort
It's
of
not
oval.
a circle.
Well, whatever. It's
an
not
oval.
a square, is it, or rectangular like it properly should be?
Oh dear. It's actually very similar dimensions to the MCG, just a little bit smaller in terms of width, or in this case from end to end on the pitch. But the square boundaries are big. That's one thing that made the India-Pakistan game so good, was they used proper boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that was good. You couldn't slap it for 60 yards to get a 6. You had to hit it 85.
6 threes in that game.
Yeah, exactly. How often do you see that? Anyway,
Not
last ball,
often.
last ball of the over is a decent ball, beats the outside edge of Patton's bat through the keeper, and there ain't no run.
Well, 22 for 1 isn't a lot of runs, but if they get... You saw it in the last couple of days, it's not a bad idea. It's not like playing in the IPL. You don't have to go hell for leather, even I'm going to say that. If you get through your power play at...
What's going on, Andy?
Get through your power play at 38 for 1, you're not doing too bad.
Oh, he's a reform man. He's getting old. Leah says, one caveat with that 4 best bowlers thing. It's true, unless they're all left-arm wrist spinners. Then you should absolutely pick them all.
True, yep.
No, I disagree
Don't
with
think
that
there are
even.
4 good enough left-arm wrist spinners in the
No.
world.
Mitch Stark is into the attack. His first ball is swished at by Patton. He misses it by a mile. Goes through the keeper, and ain't no runs. Mitch.
I must say, in terms of the Australian attack, I would have been tempted actually to have both Agar and Zampa bowling when Zampa was fit. I think 2 good spinners is well worth having in the team, but Australia.
Yeah. Another big swish, no ding. That's a good ball from Stark. Pushed it wide across him. He's not prepared to go across.
Well, do they figure Maxwell covers the second spinner?
I don't.
No,
I don't rate
but it
Maxwell
not
as a bowler.
not entirely, no, but it gives you an extra batsman.
And yeah, he's done fuck all. And which is
In what? In one game?
well, yeah, but apparently he didn't do very well against England in the warm-ups either, did he? He had a brief flash in one game, but didn't get many, and the other 2
He's
got
had
fuck
a
all.
rotten run.
But as you say, it's T20. That's what you got to do. You got to put it behind you in this game, haven't you? Oh, now that's a decent appeal.
Pitched outside leg.
Yeah, probably do because he's left arm over, but certainly going on to hit the stumps. And an appeal from Stark. Yeah, no one.
Even got an edge on it. They're giving it a run.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Very different bowler Stark to Cummins. Stark is trying to pitch it up and swing it. Cummins was bowling back of a length, trying to cramp the batsman up. So they are different in that sense, I suppose. But there's not much subtlety about it it's all about the same pace. He did get an inside edge on that one.
Yeah, Stark was very much down on pace in the first game against New Zealand, actually. He was running in sort of mid-80s when you're used to him bowling up around the 90s, especially for 4 overs. That one is maybe bat, maybe pad. It's gone square on the leg side. It'll be 1 run to the score. It'll be a leg by or a run. Very slow on the scorecard.
I love the fact they got shots of the middle of Perth and it looks as dead as it ever is.
Yeah, and that's probably that's prime time at 7 o'clock. It is one of the deadest cities I've seen in my life, and it was a long time ago.
Well,
but I've just,
especially in the middle of the
there was
city.
literally it was the centre of town, and there was no one walking around. I was like, it's fucking 9 o'clock. What are you all like? Flashed out again by Patton, and it'll go through to the keeper. So he's only bowling at 84 miles an hour here.
O'Neill Harris has pointed out that the website says it's a replay.
Right. Okay, that's the other thing I forgot to tell you to do.
Thanks, O'Neill. You're our best.
So many
sponsor.
things to remember, and that's the one thing I did. Well, thank you very much. We're getting. I was looking at the back end of the new website the other day. It's WordPress. It's going to be quite funky.
Oh well, if it's WordPress, I can edit them.
No,
I don't want to.
Stark into the pads. Patton, who goes square on the leg side, and I get a single. What did I go under? 29.5, wasn't it?
You did.
Yeah,
You haven't got
and
much to play with.
no, and while I said
Oh,
they don't have to break the bank in this power play, you should still be doing better than 10 off 18. You should be a runner ball.
Yeah. It's Perth, isn't it? We're playing it.
That's
Yeah.
Patton who has 10 off 18.
Colin Sutter says, and this is a reasonable point, I think, the main reason Ellis isn't in the squad is because he wasn't part of the last winning squad and they feel obliged to give him a chance to defend the title.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Oh.
Jay says, wasn't there a bipolar painter past show character who went mental and painted everything black? Is that what Gorilla Cricket Hive Mind does every morning, but with a colour grey? Oh, you're so rude to us, Jay. But then we asked for it.
No, Dan and Jai is 6 off 6. Yeah, Patton 10 off 18 is not good. A lot of swinging and that missing.
Well, they've picked up enough extras to get them to 25, but I think it might be a good idea to try to pick some runs off this one last over of the power play. Your last chance with those 2 fielders out.
Yeah, Hazelwood's going to bowl it. He's into his third. He's gone for 12 in his 2, 6 and over. Patton is facing up once again. Gives himself some room. Gets nothing on it. Having given himself about a yard outside leg stump, it's followed by Hazelwood, and he just missed it. And there's no run. It's good to know that my son is now fighting the fire giant.
He's what?
He's playing Elder Rings, and again, this computer is hooked up to my Microsoft account and tells me when things are happening on the Xbox at home
Okay.
for some strange reason.
Well, at least you can keep an eye on it.
There's weird things that happen that you can only get at Gorilla Cricket.
I thought I'd turn that setting off. Someone told me how to do it, and I've forgotten what they told me to do. That's short gloved, and Wade can't get across to catch it. It was tantalisingly close, and they'll probably get back for 2. Yeah, they do. Need a nice easy 2. Poor shot, but at least they got runs.
Yeah, again, another one down the leg from Hazelwood, and I think better batsmen are gonna put him in the stand if he bowls there.
Yeah, I think so. I think Butlers and stuff will love that shit, won't they?
Well, Australia playing England on Friday.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Even if Australia win today, I think they're going to have to beat England.
Yes. You can certainly afford to lose 1 game.
2 is difficult.
2 is going to be difficult. That one has gone.
Yep, shot.
Damn, over the top of the keeper.
Lost your bet.
Lost my bet. I went over the top of the keeper.
Warren says it's good to see the Bears' love of money outweighs his hatred of Australia.
Always.
Man, it's always a good thing to win money.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Might have one more pop though, because they don't look like going anywhere fast.
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite critical of Sam Curran over recent months, but he won me a bet in the last game, and he's also my pick for top England bowler in the tournament.
Well, there you go.
He's hit the front there, 5 for 10.
Yeah, he certainly has, hasn't he?
So he's in my good books.
Yes, that's just dabbed out behind square on the offside, and there is no run. What are they offering me now? 47.5, you see.
End of the power play, they'll start to accumulate a bit more.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you really want to get on a roll where you're getting one after the other, don't you?
That's the thing. And you've got to try and catch it. I got it on Sunday, actually.
Catch the wave.
I got the first 3 Indian wickets, and then I stopped at that. I thought, yeah, don't ride your luck too much. Sure enough, they did lose another one, but then the next stand was 100 and whatever it was. That's a good shot. Well, he's not got enough on it, but it's a good idea. He's gone right across his stumps. Has Patton. Was it Dhananjaya? It was Patton. And he's tried to ramp it over down towards fine leg. He's got it too aerial, and the timing's not right, but there's no one there, so he gets away with it. Did they come back for 2, or was it just 1?
No, I think that was just 1.
Okay. Right idea, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a man out, actually, deep, fine leg. So it's fortunate he didn't get too much on it.
Yeah. Mog says even when you put the jingles in order, Bear, there is no fucking order.
Well, yeah, you know. So what happened here at GCHQ? That's pulled. Oh, and another top edge. And it's another one that's gone over the top. Wade. It's going to be 4 more runs. Stop. That was a decent final over for the power play. 2 4s, 10, 11 off that over.
Well, you can't put a man there.
4 byes.
You can't put a man there, apparently, but he would have saved a few runs the last couple of overs.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tony Bishop's quoting some poetry for you, I think. Bear says, "It's 4 in the morning, and once more the dawning. Just woke up the wanting in me." Farron Young, if I recall there.
4 in the morning usually doesn't do anything for me, I've got to say. Unless I'm still awake from the night before, in which case I've had a good time.
That would have been...
The alternative form bot says, did the Bear go down on Sri Lanka and openers? In fact, did he go under on them?
I did indeed.
As he regularly does.
Yeah.
And Leah says, yes, the robots of cricket and the Ashes being part of the key to freedom. Oh, don't let's talk about it.
They'll be here before you know it.
They always are.
GPL. Alexander
Sutcliffe
says, aren't you opening it today? Is it not open?
Oh, have I not set it up?
We didn't. That's another thing to do.
That's another thing to do. I thought I set it up yesterday.
Yeah, it's not open.
No, fuck. I'll open it. What time are we? I'll give you an extra 10. I'll give you 20 minutes from now then.
Agar's going to come in while the Bear does that. It's full on leg stump and it's clipped down to long leg. Should pick up a single.
Sorry, I thought I'd set it up yesterday. I try to remember do these things in time. So I'll set it up.
Thanks for finding that out to us.
I'll start it off at 12:31, and it will run till 12:51.
Well, Agar, who's evidently suffering cricketer's premature hair loss, and he's gone for plan B of just going bald rather than doing hair regeneration adverts. That one is punched up to long off for a single.
It should open in no, it should be open now. You've got 20 minutes, £232.
Monster jackpot.
Monster jackpot again. It'd be funny, Ash Nagar will suddenly turn up with a big head of hair in a couple of years and you go, what? He's given up. It's half a peel there. It's
should wear a wig.
Pretty flat dart. He's got big ears though with no hair. He started off with a big mullet, didn't he, or long hair when he came over and played it?
Probably. Got that 98 not out of nowhere,
Yeah, well, he should have been out, shouldn't he? Wasn't given out by the bloody umpire.
Pre-DRS days.
Yeah. Well, they did look at it on a replay, gave him the benefit of the doubt, but he was out.
Probably thought, number 11, what difference? He'll get out in a minute anyway.
Yeah, exactly, maybe they did. Cost England, though. Defended to the leg side, and there's no run.
Who's 36 quid now?
Did Australia win that test?
Don't think they did.
No.
Because
no, we didn't.
They still only ended up, I mean, he got half their runs, didn't
he?
Yeah. They ended up on 190 odd all out. It was closer than it should have been, though. Warner is picked out by Putnam down at long off. It'll be a single. 39 for 1. We're in the 7th over. They're going nowhere fast, Sri Lanka.
No, but
we'll have a change at the end of this over, won't we?
Well, I'll still be doing. We'll still both be here.
Yes.
But just a minor change.
Forthy will be joining us.
Good shot.
Decent shot. Driven straight. Good. Dhananjaya de Silva coming down the track, meeting the ball and smashing it inside mid-off. He's pretty wide, Warner, down there. And it'll be 4 more runs.
That seems to be the trend these days.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's always trying to cover 2 positions. It's the whole thing about T20, you know.
Yeah.
It's like your cover's a bit too square. That's why you end up sometimes having 3 players out there.
Well, again, that's a benefit to longer boundaries. It makes it a bit more difficult for the fielding team. They can't just set a kind of, template field. They've got to think a bit harder.
Yeah, and it also makes it fairer for the bowlers if they're going to try and everything bottom hand over cow corner, and cow corner's actually 85 metres instead of 65.
Yeah.
You got more chance of actually getting a wicket.
Right, so is Forthy going to join us?
Forthy shall join us.
Yes,
He's there.
I am here.
Hello.
Me voici.
Oh, you're very loud as well.
243 quid.
Am I? Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, and
Having a look at my sound.
In the meantime, Stoinis is into the attack. Length ball, and it's just a run down to third man. That'll be an easy single.
And when you're so loud, you're virtually distorted virtually every word you say.
Is
Very
that
true.
any better?
It's getting there. Down more.
Is that any better?
A little bit more.
I'm almost on 0. It's very odd.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No,
Which one are you doing? Output or input? Turn the other one down as well.
I'm doing input. That's right, isn't it?
Well, that'll be it could be output. Well, one
Okay.
should affect the other.
Stoinis is
Oh, yeah,
in.
shoot.
It's lifted towards. It's over mid-off, who was up. Long on comes round. They should get a couple for that. Yeah, I think they did. But I think deliberately played into the
Yeah.
gap because mid-off was up short there.
I've put my mic up a little bit as well. But,
it's actually Bear's fault because he said the same to me, so it's clearly not us. But never mind. It's Mog 13 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago is the next tweet, Forthy.
thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stoinis
Thanks,
is
Messi.
in, steps away, clubs it back towards the bowler, hits the stumps. No one got anything on it. Gone through the stumps. Warner picks it up behind them. They will get through for a single. Why don't you crack on with some of these tweets then, so we can catch up?
Okay then. There's a few tweets on the subject of are we opening the GPL today from Alexander Soot,
Yes, it's open
Oscar
now.
Habellini and Hombre Nuevo. Don't know what the answer.
Both
Who's
the
to that?
bowler and the batsman were about 4 yards down the track when that ball hit the stumps at the bowler's end. Stoinis didn't get anything on it, much to the batsman's relief. Patten back on strike. He's got to do a little bit more, I think, and he does go for a pull shot, but I'm sure deep square will pick it up, just the single. It's 48 for 1 after 7.4.
Yeah, still just pottering along.
They are a little bit. I'd like to see a bit of an injection at this point. You'd think they have weathered the storm of the opening bowlers.
The line at the bookies is 149.5.
Yep. I'll be looking for more than that, certainly. I'm just not sure what kind of firepower they've really got in the middle order. Is there anyone who can biff it?
Well, Hasaranga can biff it.
Shorter
Not
ball.
really.
Yeah, shorter ball. It's tapped into the offside between the two fielders, so they pick up a single. Yeah, Hasaranga can score at a high strike rate, but he's just not scored many runs for quite some time. He's a 10 off 6 maybe when they need a bit more.
Well, the problem for Sri Lanka is their strike rates. I mean, Hasaranga, yes, but his strike rate's 122. Rajapaksa is probably their best bet at 136 strike rate.
That's pretty decent though, when you think most of England's
Yeah, that's
batters
okay.
are around about
That's
there.
okay. Yeah. Mendes, they needed to hang around a while, really, because his strike rate's 131.
He's been going well. That's dropped down to backward point, stroke gully, but he misfields it, and instead of going and getting his misfield, he sort of threw his hands up Ashton Agar, which Stoinis took him to task for. But only 7 off the over with no boundaries. It's 50 for 1 off 8.
Yes, Mog has got a question about the Hitchhiker's Book with the Planet Cricket, KRIKKIT, Andy. Been a while since I read them myself.
Yep.
Jay Grover, The Deserve, were implied. You are to ingrate bastards. Angela Scootus, evening. A little early, thanks to a tardy return from a handball game tonight. So have I missed any farces today? Apart from Sunat talking about how much he owes Boris Johnson. Jay Grover again. I've never been a huge Friends fan, but Andy in the dressing gown would look remarkably like Mr. Heckles. Don't know Mr. Heckles, actually.
Did he say friends?
Yes, Friends, the old sitcom.
Yeah, worst TV show ever. That one hits the stumps, and they're going to get through for a second off it. It's not 3 off the stumps like in that crucial India game, but a run-out shout was in. Agar let the ball hit the stumps, which he thought was the right thing to do, but then it bounced off them into no man's land, and they picked up a second.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the rule on that. What is the rule exactly?
Apparently the rule had changed as one of these raft of changes, but certainly consensus was that yes, that was 3 runs on Sunday when it hit the wickets off the free hit.
So much like the catcher, if you're caught out, the new batsman has to face. That was probably one of the ones where it was a dead ball before the 1st
They
of
also had
October.
some weird thing in the South Africa-Zimbabwe game. After the ball hit de Kock's glove after he'd taken it off, a batsman a little bit careless there. He kind of tapped his bat in like you do on the beach. He didn't ground it in, but he did get there in time. Yeah, one of the slightly overlooked bizarre things in that South Africa game was in the last over of the Zimbabwe innings, de Kock threw his glove off to pick the ball up with his hand, and the throw hit the glove, which was 5 runs. We know all that. The batsman's down the track and plays it back to Agar, who's a pretty wily bowler. He doesn't fall for that, and there's no run. But then there was an extra ball as well.
Really?
Yeah, that was really weird and seemed to throw everybody. I mean, they took a wicket off it anyway, so it wasn't any more runs, but that was a strange one. Batsman steps away and tips into the offside. There's another run-out chance, but again, not the best throw. Are they going to get a second here as well?
Oh, no.
They are. It was a very quick second because Agar only dropped the ball and it went about 3 yards. But good running from Sri Lanka, and they got back for the second, another bonus run in this over.
That shouldn't have happened.
No. So a little bit careless from Australia there, but Sri Lanka staying alive and picking up a couple of extra bonus runs there.
There was barely 1 run there, let alone 2.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Have another look at that one. It was a quickish run. They both did set off, and he would have been in. It wasn't a great throw. No need to bounce it down from that range. Then it only went 5 or 6 yards behind Agar, but it was enough for Sri Lanka to burgle a second.
Wade wasn't happy.
Ashton Agar. No, he wasn't. Ashton Agar's shirt seems to be 2 sizes too big for him, I can report.
Can grow into it, perhaps.
What is he now? He can only be about 25, 26 now. He was about 19 when he played in that test.
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he got 98.
That one's onto the pads and it's clipped out into the gap at square leg. They might think about 2 here. Yep, pick up another 2, and I don't think the fielders are particularly quick in there either. A little bit sloppy from Australia this over. 3 2s from it. Possibly all should have been 1.
GPL is open.
Yep.
Jackpot of £236.
Got another
a super jackpot.
10 minutes for the GPL.
We'll have to pay that in 10 yearly instalments, I think. That's short and it's outside off stump, but it's pulled up to long on to Tim David. Oh, the batsman wanted 2 that time as well, getting a bit carried away there maybe. And that was a decent throw, so they wisely kept it to 1.
No, the jackpot now. We have 42 people enter, so that's another 20 quid. 252. It's up over 250 now. A lot of people chasing that.
Yep.
That money today. That's how we like it. So if you all did this every
like
day,
a rollover, yeah.
It'd be a hell of a lot more fun. And someone would win every day. I keep telling you that.
Got to be in it to win it.
Got to be in it to win it, exactly.
Agar, left arm round. Onto the pads again, scooped up really into nowhere. It dribbles down to Josh Hazlewood at short fine leg. It'll be another single. Sri Lanka pick up 8, a leg by actually, pick up 8 off that over, 58 for 1 off 9. Ian.
Brian Barish, good day and good morrow, cricket nerds. Feeling better after my last minute bailing of commentary duties, but today I have jury duty.
Oh no!
So we'll see how much. I'll be able to listen to y'all. That might be little to none. We'll see. Depends whether you get called up, I expect. Dr. Stan Diper has contributed one of his distinctive sketches. Leah, England won that Agar debut by 14 runs. Yes, I remember it well.
Isn't that the one? Yes, Haddin got out and...
He did. So catch behind, wasn't it? To when they looked like they were zeroing in.
It wasn't given, or it was given and he reviewed it? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. But there was a little bit of drama around
I think it wasn't given and then it was reviewed.
Searching the memory banks, Mog. Also, why the fuck was there a 2,000-year process to get Truss into office? Yet this time Sunak waltzes in after a week. Well,
that is an interesting question. Played down to backward point for no run. Yeah, I think they just felt like it. I mean, they can do absolutely what they like. They can take it to their members. They can not.
Yeah.
They can foist a prime minister on us. He does a 1-minute speech. And if we ask for more, they say they get sniffy with us. Absolute bastards.
It's like the end of a party. But do we really have to play that extra game? I'll tell you what. Just wave him through. He'll do. He's fine. That's okay.
But the most ridiculous thing is people sort of portraying it as some kind of social mobility when a billionaire becomes prime minister. That one's played out to deep backward point, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's a fucking disgrace. We need a general election. It ain't gonna happen though, is it? We don't have the power to get one to happen.
It's complicated because we're meant to be pro-women, we're meant to be pro-religious pluralism.
Yeah, but they use that. They are absolutely using that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do, don't they? It's like Hillary Clinton used to keep talking about breaking the glass ceilings. Are you going to be a decent president? One
of the main reasons she lost. Yeah.
Yes, kept going on about. That's right. Talking about the wrong thing.
Yep. Fuller ball from Stark. It's driven by Patum. It's going to go up to a long off. They should just pick up a 1. Warner with the fielding.
Jake Grover says, worst TV show ever. Oh, Andy, you sweet hyperbolic summer child. I think that may be a slight exaggeration, Andy.
Okay. Most overrated TV show ever then.
Yes, what, Friends?
Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of overrated.
How did they manage to afford to live in the middle of Manhattan?
That's a good question. They were all like busboys and waiters. They had this amazing 6-bedroom flat in Manhattan. Yes.
two 6-bedroom flats in the middle of Manhattan.
Stark is in. Driven up to long off, keeping David Warner busy up there, but he does get round and field it, and it's just a single.
Yeah, with an enormous lounge, living, dining, all open plan. Dining area.
In American sitcoms, everyone must succeed, and in British sitcoms, everyone must fail.
Yes.
I'd suggest ours is more realistic.
Yeah, quite so.
Of course, they got the midterms coming up, haven't they?
Yeah, going to get battered.
Are they?
Yep. Stark is in. Short ball. It's lifted up towards fine. Third man. That's an iffy bit of fielding. He had a foot over the rope. We'll have another look at that one, I'm sure.
I thought he was okay.
Hazelwood, he may be okay. His foot was over the rope when he batted that back, but it may not have been on the ground.
I don't think it was.
But it was guided with a bit of intent to miss the fielder, I think. Hazelwood is not too sure himself.
That'd be a bonus if he has fucked it up. For Sri Lanka, that is. I'm now supporting Sri Lanka. I've gone over 149.5.
Oh, bonus for Sri Lanka, yeah.
Left foot goes down. Bats it back, he's fine, yep. He goes outside the boundary, but I'm sure we're going to come back in. In fact, they picked up 2 at least after that piece of fielding. Patum on to 32 off 37. 9 wickets left. He's got to try and shake it up a bit now. Stark is in to complete the over, and it's dabbed down into the point area, thinking about the run. Doesn't get one. End of the over, 63 for 1.
Yeah, he's better off getting out, isn't he, Patum?
Almost, yeah.
He is. Yeah. Jeff Perkins, because everyone's sensible, slowed the first one down by asking, are you sure you want it for PM? Mog, Agar might have Stoinish's shirt on, given the Stoin seems to be wearing one 2 sizes too small. I think they have picked up the wrong shirts in the dressing room. It's true there. Yeah. O'Neill Harris, yes, I agree. British sitcoms are far more realistic. Colin Stuter has posted the de Kock penalty run clarification with lots of yellow highlighter pen, if you want to follow that on Twitter. Brian Barish says Britcoms superior to US sitcoms. Well, Brian, from in your words, we'll take it from you, being on the other side of the pond. Angelic Scooters, because they don't trust the members not to just pick anyone. Whitey runs up against Sunak. Jeff Perkins, a billionaire becoming PM is social mobility, just not upward. I think that brings us up to date. Oh no, it doesn't. A couple more. Mog, given the way the public of Britain voted last time and for Brexit, could you trust them with a general election anyway? Except Scotland, I guess. And finally, Leah, yeah, the Dems are going to get crushed. Joe Biden will be remembered as the American Kurt von Schleicher.
Which is
5
more
people
than
in
Kurt
Germany.
von Schleicher has been.
Yes, because I have no fucking
Exactly,
clue
yes.
who you're talking about.
We're on a bit
Good
of a
knowledge,
break.
though, Leah.
End of the 10th over, so feel free to wibble.
I was going to say I'm taking the Michael Moore view. I'm an optimist. And all these unsung, they probably don't poll a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old women who might all come out, hopefully, and vote against the change to the abortion laws in America.
Bit too late, really. You got that Supreme Court for the next 30 years.
Oh, fucking joke, isn't it? I think there will be a civil war in America sooner or later. A second one. Maybe it's because it's probably because I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, and that's kind of I imagine where it actually might well end up, you know, if that sort of thing happens. Maybe not that severe, but Jesus.
It's a fragile thing, democracy. You take it for granted. If you were living in the Roman Empire, you would have thought it was going to last forever, and in the end, the centre cannot hold. And it does happen to all empires in the end. Just a question of how quickly, I suppose.
Yep.
I've got a mate who he's quite high up in advises governments and shit on climate change and environmental policy. And he's such a doom monger. Whenever I go around and see him, he's always it's surprising how quickly empires, when they go really quickly. I was like, yeah.
They do as well. It doesn't seem that long ago since we had the no drama Obama. Now look at them.
Wow.
I find it, I don't know, and no disrespect to our American listeners, but you know, it's your country. You sort it out. I slightly feel that way about all countries now, which is not the way I should feel.
They have such a rigid two-party system, and it's very, very difficult for anyone else.
And
to
the
get
electoral college system is really fucked up now.
It's very, very difficult for any other ideas to get any traction.
And not only
that's
that,
interesting. Come back to that after this ball, because I got.
Stoinis is in. Dhananjaya goes for the lap, misses it, and it goes through for no run.
And the other thing is you've got 350 million guns on the street or more.
Yeah, that's very true as well. You see, in a smaller country like Australia, relatively smaller anyway, a third party did emerge and did unseat the idiotic right-wing tyranny that we managed to establish for 10 years.
But you do have some sort of proportional system, don't you? Or do you is it first past the post?
We do have a proportional system, yes. So it's a preference system.
That one's tipped into the offside. He's just dropped it down. Finch is in, but they will get through for a single.
I mean, that's the problem with the fucking first past the post system. I mean, the Tories have never had more than about 37% of the vote of a constituency that's probably only at the best 75% of the population.
Well, Trump has only voted for by 27% of the population.
It's a fucking disgrace, isn't it? You know. I mean, I'm not against making people to vote, but I think you should, you know, everyone has to vote in Australia as well, don't you? You can get fined.
Everyone has to vote in Australia or you get fined.
I think it's not a bad idea.
Well, you could at least make it try to help people to vote, which in America they're actively opposing.
I know. That's the maddest thing I find about all this. It's basically all about the machinations, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's not real democracy anyway.
It gets worse and worse. Anyway, Stoinis is in, and Patum chops that one down to third man.
I guess we're talking like this because fuck all is happening in this
Not
game.
a great deal, no. It's 65 for 1 in the 11th, and you really feel that Sri Lanka have got to be putting their foot down from here to try to get 155, 160. And there's really no sign that Pathum is capable of doing that, is the problem.
I mean, you've got 9 wickets left, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
That's short. He just flaps at it. It goes through to Wade. Has plenty to say as usual, but it is called a wide for height.
We used to say hit out or get out when we were at school.
Give it a go, you mug.
Exactly that. Well, the score predictor is 159. That's good. I went over 149. So, come on, just get your score predictor score, and I'm happy.
That's the smallest of straws of comfort.
I think the algorithm is based on
I'd be surprised. Going like this, I'd be surprised they got to 160. That's the thing.
There's a shot, but it's gone more up than out. In fact, the camera's completely lost it. Warner's almost completely lost it, but he's run back and taken a remarkable catch going backwards, but he knew he was going over the rope, so he flicked it back. But he's literally facing 180 degrees away from the batsman when he took that.
That was a cracking bit of fielding, wasn't it? I mean,
I'd like to have another look at where he started from. You may have initially misjudged that because the cameraman didn't pick it up at all. Batsman stepped away and played a check drive miles in the air. We're looking at the batsman, which isn't... Warner's come back quite a bit. I think he was 10 or 15 in. Caught it facing the boundary, but knew his momentum was taking him over and flicked it back. So they picked up 2. It was Dhananjaya with the shot. That one is a nice shot. He's just deliberately guided that one through about first slip, and you'll pick up 4 for that one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's what I've been finally remembering, what I've been thinking of saying for the last 3 overs. This is Australia at home in the World Cup. It's a lot of empty seats.
Yeah, it's a big stadium, a 60,000 seat stadium. Mind you, that was India-Pakistan field, the MCG. I mean,
even so, are they? We'll have to ask Jez when he comes back on. Are they too expensive? Are they not trying to get kids in or anything?
That said, Australia-England's a sellout because I couldn't get tickets for it when I tried yesterday.
Well, fair weather fans. Not interested in turning up when it's Sri Lanka. Pulled by Dhananjaya. It's going to straight pull up to long on, just be a single.
Do people travel internally, Australians, to see Australia?
Probably not to Perth, no.
Not to Perth. I used to go and watch Melbourne Victory games when they played Perth, and they literally had about 17 people.
Like the old Carlisle
in the away end.
Carlisle v Plymouth, yeah.
It's 4 hours on a plane and 3 time zones away, 2 time zones away.
It's like American sports, just away fans just isn't a thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's just not a thing, yeah. Better get on with some tweets. I say that, hang on. Hold your horses. Have we got any? Yes, we have. Mog, I went all the way to Geelong to watch a game. And for those who are not
down the coast, isn't it?
Yeah, that is an hour down the coast, yes. Thank you very much, Mog. O'Neill Harris, does anyone know why Sri Lanka players are listed by their first name but not called by their last names? I always get a bit lost in other countries' systems, so I probably better not comment on that. More knowledgeable people than I can. Angelic Scooters, yet at least 90% of people vote in Australia at most elections. It is impressive. Democracy does seem to have a population ceiling before it basically becomes too unwieldy for purpose. I would agree with you there, Angelic Scooters. And finally, Jeff Perkins, the USA is still running Democracy 1.0. It's a wonder anyone still has Nabika old enough to run it on.
Oh, some of those, some of the state elections that were done in such a weird way, it's incredible. We missed one ball that was punched up to long on for a single. That one is into the leg side. They think about taking 2, but they're not going to. And that's 2 singles off this over. It's 75 for 1.
My Cocker Spaniel needs letting in. Hang on, not a euphemism.
Well, at least you're not letting him out. Agar's in again. Batsman steps away, hits it over cover. That should be into the wide open spaces. No, it's not. Warner is across. That's the benefit of long off being quite wide. He grabs the catch. Dhananjaya is gone for 26.
That was a good catch, good running catch, running right across again from long off. A bit Superman at the end, but he's out.
Little bit.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do, you'll be gone.
Probably the wrong man out there, wasn't it? Dhananjaya was out.
Probably, yes. And it goes back to what we were saying, that Agar's done perfectly well, and I think he's a perfectly capable replacement for Zampa. I don't think Australia lose very much with that one.
Arguably better, actually, when you look at his
adds
stats.
more with the bat as well.
Yeah, exactly. A few tweets. Jay Grover, Ruckus Ryder made a good point, and I paraphrase: anyone who gets to the top of an organisation gets up there. The culture and ethos of that organisation, regardless of their background. Mog, I must apologise for taking a GPL number ending in 3, and adds democracy is a pile of shit. When will a benevolent machine stroke aliens take over and just run everything for us or better? Or wipe us the fuck out? Thank you for that.
54
thank
entries.
you awesome humans.
54 entries in the GPL. There's a couple. Oh, there. 281 has been taken by 3 people. That would be a 3-way pot. Never had that before. In fact, there's a couple of numbers that way inclined.
Spurs always used to win the FA Cup in a year that ended in a 1, didn't they, for a while? Till they didn't.
Till they did like 2 1s in a row. 81 and 91.
No, there's more than that. 61, 81, 91.
Not 71, 'cause that was when Arsenal won the
Not
double.
71, 'cause that was
so
Arsenal,
lucky,
Liverpool.
Not so lucky for Spurs.
2001 was Liverpool lost. There's only 3 of them, yeah.
Absolutely no idea who won any cup final after about 1993. Agar is
Into
into
the 90s, and then they'll fall apart after the 90s.
Yeah. That is tapped into the leg side by the new batsman, and it's this man.
You say that, it's this man. It's Charith.
But Charith who? Is it
Charith Asalanka.
yeah.
See the young man make great strides, Captain.
Agar is in again. It's Patum tips into the leg side. Agar is across quickly enough to keep it to 1.
Charith's coming out, ooh. Charith's coming out, ooh.
What song was that?
With or without you.
that's
With or
it.
without you. Yeah.
You too.
Agar's in again. It's onto leg stump, and he gets something on that and tips it into the backward square leg area. Wade is around. It's 1, probably a run, maybe a leg bye. It doesn't really matter. Agar doing well. Yeah, it was a leg bye. 1 for 18 off his 3, and Sri Lanka are 78 for 2 off 12.
Messi Jez, are you telling me the Roman Empire is dead? I thought we said the circuses, backstabbings and slavery that were introduced 2,000 years ago. Indeed, Alexander I'm not quite sure of his full name there. What does the bear think the bookies should set the over-under number of years until a US civil war?
Oh, now that's interesting. I give it...
I'll let you think on that for a minute, or do you want to come straight back?
around about 7. I think it can't go much longer than
7?
that.
My God, that is gloomy.
I'll give you my reasoning for this bet in a minute.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's going to be a Republican president next, and that could be any kind of horror. So, goodness knows
Yeah.
what's going to happen after that.
It will not be pleasant. Collins 2 to the last Aussie voting slip I see, so had the Australian Communist Party and Australian Sex Party. Voting thing was an A3 sheet.
Right, we've got a new bowler into the attack for the first time in this match. It's punched out. There's a little bit of hesitation. They will pick up 2 fairly comfortably, though.
He's a man you've got to go after, isn't he, Mitch Marsh?
Yeah.
He's not Sean, he's not Rod, he's not Daniel, he's not Jack, he's not Jamie, he's not Lisa, he's not Paul, he's not Adrian, he's not Hansel,
I like that jingle.
Yeah, it goes on for about 40 seconds. Doing
None
that,
of those. He is Mitch Marsh. He's in again. Slower ball, and it does pop up a little bit to backward point. Half a chance for Maxwell. I think that might have been out with a direct
Would have
hit.
been well out.
But he missed at the bowler's end, and that's got through for a single.
Well, the bottom end of the GPA, is there any rain, or we need Messi? Is there any rain due in Perth today? 221
I
is
don't
the bottom.
think so. I think we're clear today.
I suppose these are Sri Lanka winning, bowling Australia out for some stupid score. So it starts at 221 all the way up to where are we going to? No, don't do that. 343.
Marsh is in again, and
Oh,
that
that's
one's
good.
picked up, but it's not gone far enough. The fielder's
Oh!
up, and he's dropped it, and Patrick Cummins didn't get in the right position there. He was he had plenty of time to get under it, but he misjudged it. It ended up round his ankles, and he spilled it, and that wasn't a good piece of work.
And it wasn't. I think we got. There we go.
The pimps in the crib, mom. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Cross seam from March, and again, Cummins is looking at it for a long time without moving, then suddenly has to go forward. That one's up in the air again. It's up towards long off. It looks catchable. No. Again, mid-off was up. Warner is round, and that might have sneaked over for 6.
I think it's the first one of the day, boys. That's a bit more like it.
Much more like it from Charith. I mean, who knows how long it's going to last, but, they've got 8 wickets in hand.
Exactly.
They should have 3 more batsmen. I think they should be trying to hit the ropes here, trying to hit the sponges.
Indeed. Need someone to go crazy.
Well, 10 off this over already, but that's a better ball. Flashes past the outside edge. No contact, though.
Because they won the Asia Cup, didn't they?
They did very well, and I was maintaining at the start they've only had 1 bad game in this tournament. They may be a bit of a dangerous, a bit of a floater in this group who could upset You'd think England, Australia and New Zealand are going for those 3 places, but they could upset one of them. And if they can win this game, they'll feel they're in the mix as well. That one beats short mid-wicket, and it might go all the way for 4. It does, yeah.
Good shot.
Often the way, if you want a boundary, just try to beat the short man by a yard or 2.
14 off the over.
Much better.
Only 2 teams go through from here. It's only semis to finals.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying those 3 are the main 3 in contention.
Angelic Scooters. Tickets are cheaper than normal in Knowles, but Perth generally doesn't get big crowds for cricket on a regular basis. Jeff Perkins, fair weather fans having a hard time of it this World Cup. Climate-related humorous comments.
I've got South Africa.
Although we've done reasonably well, haven't we?
We've what?
Mog, to be fair, 1, I got there first, and 2, rule 303. Colin Suter, don't forget the effects of free-to-air TV coverage. Good point.
Oh, would you change?
And
we are.
I'm moving over to ball by ball.
Yeah, well, me and Andy are off. I'll just give you my quick reasons why there's going to be a war in the US in 7 years. Because basically...
It'll have to be very quick, because Agar's coming into bowl. Go ahead.
I'll give it to you later. I'll have to wait.
All right, thank you very much. Agar spears that down the leg side, but too far down the leg side. It's given there wide by Richard Illingworth. So, Messi, we're up to Jay Grover 7 minutes ago, starting with points.
Yeah, I just saw that. Thank you. I should point out it's not going to rain. Definitely.
Not going to rain, okay. Agar in for the second ball of the over. That's got away by Patham successfully. He's just slightly depressed his foot on the accelerator pedal, just a touch in the last few balls. Comes back for 2. Good start to the over. 3 already. Only 1 legitimate ball bowled.
And the other thing I should say in terms of local knowledge is that it may not look a lot, but I reckon there's between 35 and 40,000 there, which isn't bad on a Tuesday night.
On free to air as well. And Agar in turns that one a touch, but too short to trouble the batsman. They come back for 2. Good throw, but good running as well. So they move on to 97 for 2.
I'm going to hang here because Ajit hasn't turned up.
Oh, okay.
And that's who I have down here as the man.
It is Ajit. It's theoretically Ajit.
So now I can give you my reasons why there'll be civil war in America in 7 years.
Now you can
Ajit,
treat
where are you?
listeners.
We need you.
Oh, shit.
Oh no, Agar's ready to bowl again. I have to wait again for Bear's theory on death of democracy. Pitches that up a touch further, and as a consequence, oh, he's out. Went for the run, went straight to point, fired in by Mitch Marsh. Nice, neat, but very straightforward piece of fielding. It was just a suicidal run. And the third wicket has fallen. Patham is out for 40 off 45. Sri Lanka 97 for 3.
He called me for a single and my stump shattered. Do-don't run, 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 do-don't run, run.
That was poor. Straight to the fielder. I think he got told down the river that secretly in the dressing room they wanted Patham out. And
yeah, well, I mean, 40 from 45 is not a great innings.
No, it's not at all.
No, it's just not, is it? I mean, there's no way you can dress that up. 40 off 45 in a T20.
It's an awful lot of balls to waste for 40 runs in a T20. When you consider that, Finn Allen got 45 off 13 the other day. Opening.
Yeah, and people are saying, he should have gone on. Well, he should have gone off, Patham, some time ago. A strike rate of 88 is nothing to write home about.
No.
Bear, your time has come, I think.
Well, okay. I will say, look, there's something else happening on the Xbox. I can't remember what I was going to say about that, but no, but I can about my. No, there's just white nationalism has become too big over there again. They just really have a serious problem with it, and all these right-wing lunatics they're basically subverting democracy by voting all these people in kind of important positions within the states. And I just think it's going to come. I think it's going to come to a point where they just basically won't accept a result, and at that point you reach breaking point, I think, and then it'll be,
and guns.
And there's an awful lot. Well, that's what I said. There's 350 million guns in the public's hands, and
Anyway, Banuka Rajapaksa, while we debate the future of the world's biggest economy, has come to the crease and gets off the mark straight away. Have we got a jingle?
Yeah, we do. He's probably not in the right place, so let me just find him.
It's all right. Do you want to have another ball?
No, got him.
Bad boy, take it out on bowlers.
camera zeroed in on a teenager in the audience doing that incredibly annoying, putting your finger to your lips to hush.
I don't
the
understand that
opposition.
at all.
Shut up.
It's so annoying. I hate it when
Oh, I like
strikers
it.
do that and
Oh,
then
I
rush
love it.
over to the crowd. You love it,
Yeah. It's part of the theatre.
Fair
I
enough.
just don't
We
get
can
it.
agree to disagree on that particular point. Agar is in for the 5th ball of the over. His shirt isn't getting any smaller. And he pushes that one wide and pushes it through sufficiently. Agar thinks he might have got a touch to that, so it's gone through to Wade. He sees the funny side of it, so does Wade. I'm not sure what the joke is. The upshot is a dot ball.
You got 50,000. If you got 50,000 people banging and calling you a Bradman for 45 minutes, and you stick one in straight after half time, why not? It's a natural reaction, I think. Fuck you.
Half volley to
Well.
finish the over, but it's whipped through the vacant mid-wicket space for one run. Sharif will keep the strike off. Sri Lanka 99 for 3 at the end of the 14th over. Run rate of only 7 so far.
Ajit has arrived. I think he got the wrong over again. He often does that.
My theory is that Baird likes it because he gets the opportunity. Liverpool players get the opportunity to do it a lot more often than Coventry players.
Well, yeah, we're not in the same league as Coventry. Ajit's here. I'm going to take some time off. I'll see you later.
Okay,
Thanks so
Jay
much, Bear.
says, point about Republican gerrymandering and voter restrictions, etc. If Conservatives become convinced they cannot win democratically, they won't abandon conservatism, they will abandon democracy. That's quoting David Frum. Thank you, Jay. You're very serious tonight.
Indeed. Welcome, Ajit. Hello there. You in Amsterdam?
Well, close enough. Hello all, and sorry for an over delay. I often get that mixed up. Do I start at 13.1 or 14.1? But all right.
It can be complicated. Tony does a great job on the schedules, but sometimes
No,
it
indeed.
can be a little hard to know exactly where you are. First ball of the over from Stark, who's back into the attack. Started his 3rd over. It's whipped through the offside by Charith for a single, and he moves on to 16, and that is the 100 up for Sri Lanka, but in the 15th over, so
15th
they're
over.
going rather slowly. How are you seeing it so far, Ajit?
Well, I think Australia will be the happier of the two teams. You know, something around the 140 mark or 150 mark, the way things go from here. Unless the two batters really cut loose. I thought Dhananjaya De Silva was playing a bit within himself. I know he can be a bit more expansive. I think it was time for one of those two to have gone a bit more hard. I think now Sri Lanka will do a bit of catch-up. Anything above 150, it will be a very good game. Anything under that, I think Australia will be very much happy and will be the favourites.
I think Banuka's their best bet, isn't he? He's and that is launched into the sky by Banuka, and again it's gone over the heads of those long on and long off who were in from the boundary about 10 yards in. But on this occasion they managed to flick it back. I think it was David Warner who did the fielding there, and they've come back for 2 runs on this occasion.
He just plunked that straight down, back behind the bowler, and I think he didn't hit it as well as he would have liked. The way he held the post, I thought he clearly hit it above. Warner went and dived all over the ball, didn't he? But the ball just plugged in the end.
It plugged to such a degree it actually spun backwards like one of those golf chips. It's remarkable, actually. Stark in again.